If you are over the age of 60, everything you have been told about heart health for the last 4 decades is not just outdated, it is actively rotting your arteries from the inside out. For 40 years, the medical establishment and multi billion-dollar food corporations have pointed their finger at one single villain: cholesterol. They told you to stop eating eggs, to avoid butter, and to fear saturated fat like it was poison. And in the vacuum left by those traditional foods, they sold you a massive, profitable lie. They filled your grocery store shelves with heart-healthy alternatives, low-fat options, and cholesterol-free snacks. But look at the data. We have more people on statins than ever before in human history. We have more low-fat products than at any other time. Yet heart disease remains the number 1 killer of seniors in the United States and Europe. If cholesterol were the true and only culprit, heart attacks should be a thing of the past. But they aren't. They are skyrocketing. The truth that your doctor isn't telling you, and that the food industry is spending millions to hide, is that there is one specific healthy food you are likely eating every single morning that rages through your circulatory system like a wildfire. It doesn't just sit in your blood like cholesterol. It actively corrodes the lining of your arteries, destabilizes the plaque you already have, and triggers sudden catastrophic heart failure 10 times faster than high cholesterol ever could. My name is Dr. Robert Lee, and after decades of monitoring the metabolic health of seniors, I have seen the same pattern repeated in thousands of patients. They eat the healthy cereal, they drink the heart-healthy juice, they use the cholesterol-free spread, and then they end up on my operating table with arteries that look like they've been scrubbed with sandpaper. In this video, I am going to expose the four-headed snake of the health food industry. I will show you the exact biological mechanism, a process called glycation, that turns your blood into a corrosive acid. I will reveal the 5 healthy foods sitting in your pantry right now that are more dangerous than a plate of fried bacon. And most importantly, I will give you the artery repair protocol to heal the damage and stabilize your heart before it's too late. You must stay until the end of this video because I am going to reveal one forbidden fat that the medical board told you to avoid, which actually acts as a lubricant for your arteries and a shield for your heart muscle. Before we begin, you need to understand one thing. Your body is a high-performance machine, but as you age, the rules of fuel change. After 60, your insulin sensitivity drops, your nitric oxide production, the molecule that keeps your arteries flexible, declines by nearly 60%. When you put the wrong healthy fuel into a system that can no longer process it, you aren't just gaining weight, you are triggering a metabolic explosion. Let's look at the first big lie, the cholesterol smokescreen. For years, you've been told that cholesterol is like sludge in a pipe. You've been told that it builds up until the pipe is blocked. This is a kindergartner's understanding of human biology. Your arteries are not passive lead pipes. They are living, breathing, muscular tissues. Cholesterol is actually a repair molecule. Your body uses it to fix damaged cell membranes and produce essential hormones like vitamin D and testosterone. The real danger isn't the cholesterol itself. The danger is when that cholesterol becomes oxidized or glycated. Think of it like this. Cholesterol is the ambulance sent to the scene of an accident to repair a crack in your artery wall. But if the environment in your blood is toxic, filled with the healthy food I'm about to reveal, that ambulance gets set on fire. It turns into a hard, jagged, inflammatory mess that ruptures. That rupture is what causes the heart attack, not the blockage itself. So, what is the healthy food causing this fire? It is the hidden, added sugars disguised in health-labeled products. Specifically, we are talking about the healthy fruit yogurt and the whole grain energy bars you've been told to eat for breakfast. When you consume these low-fat yogurts, you are often eating more sugar than is found in a standard candy bar. Because the manufacturers removed the fat, the very thing that would have slowed down your insulin response, they replaced it with high fructose corn syrup and fruit preparations to make it palatable. When this concentrated sugar hits your bloodstream, it triggers a process called glycation. This is where sugar molecules literally caramelize the proteins in your blood and the lining of your arteries. It creates something called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. The acronym is perfect because that is exactly what they do. They age your internal organs at 10 times the normal rate. Imagine your delicate artery lining, the endothelium. This lining is responsible for releasing nitric oxide to keep your blood pressure stable. When you eat that healthy yogurt, the edges act like tiny shards of glass, scratching and scarring the endothelium. Your body tries to fix these scratches by sending cholesterol and calcium to the site, creating plaque. But here is the 10x danger Charles Bennett and I are warning you about. Sugar doesn't just help build the plaque, it makes the plaque vulnerable. It creates a thin, unstable cap over the plaque that can burst at any second. High cholesterol might give you a stable blockage that you can live with for 30 years. High sugar gives you an unstable plaque that kills you on a Tuesday morning while you're gardening. Let's talk about the second betrayal: heart healthy fruit juice. Many of you grew up being told that a glass of orange juice or apple juice is a vital part of a balanced breakfast. After all, it's 100% fruit, right? Wrong. When you strip the fiber away from the fruit, you are left with a metabolic poison. Fructose, the sugar found in fruit, can only be processed by one organ in your body, your liver. When you drink a large glass of juice, you are slamming your liver with a massive dose of liquid sugar that it cannot handle. The liver has no choice but to convert that sugar into palmitic acid, a saturated fat that triggers systemic inflammation, and VLDL particles, which are the small, dense, dangerous version of cholesterol that actually gets under your artery walls. Worse yet, this liquid sugar spike triggers silent nutrient starvation. As your insulin levels skyrocket to deal with the juice, your body shuts down the ability to burn fat and stops the delivery of key nutrients like magnesium and zinc to your heart muscle. Your heart is a muscle that never stops working. It requires a constant, steady supply of minerals to maintain its electrical rhythm. When you spike your insulin with healthy juice, you are essentially flicking the breaker switch on your heart's power supply. This is why many seniors feel heavy, tired, or unstable in the legs. As we discussed in the leg weakness protocols, the legs are the farthest point from the heart. If your microcirculation is being caramelized by juice and yogurt sugars, your legs are the first to feel the oxygen deprivation. But the betrayal goes deeper than breakfast. It's in your healthy plant milks and your whole grain breads. Let's look at the third betrayal, one that has taken over modern kitchens in the last decade: healthy plant milks. Many of you have switched from cow's milk to oat milk or almond milk, believing you are doing your heart a favor by avoiding animal fats and hormones. This is perhaps the most successful marketing scam in the history of the beverage industry. If you are drinking oat milk, specifically the barista or creamy versions, you are not drinking health food. You are drinking liquid starch mixed with industrial lubricants. Oat milk is produced through an enzymatic process that breaks down complex starches into maltose. Maltose has a glycemic index of 105. For context, pure white table sugar has a glycemic index of 65. When you pour that healthy oat milk into your morning coffee, you are causing a blood sugar spike that is more violent than if you had simply eaten a bowl of ice cream. For a 65-year-old with declining insulin sensitivity, this spike is a death sentence for the endothelium. But it's not just the sugar. To make these plant milks taste like dairy, manufacturers add rapeseed oil or sunflower oil. These are the very seed oils that the termination risk map and niche validation documents warn are highly inflammatory. When you heat these oils and mix them with high glycemic maltose, you create a metabolic bomb. These oils are high in omega-6 fatty acids, which, when consumed in excess, lead to the production of pro-inflammatory eicosanoids. This keeps your arteries in a state of chronic low-grade inflammation. You don't feel it today. You don't feel it tomorrow. But inside, your artery walls are swelling. The ambulance cholesterol is being called to the scene constantly, and because your blood sugar is high from the oat milk, that cholesterol is immediately being oxidized. You are building a vulnerable plaque foundation every single morning while you think you are being disciplined. Now let's address the whole grain bread betrayal. You see the heart healthy stamp from the Heart Association on the bag. You see the words stone ground or multigrain. You think you are getting fiber and complex carbohydrates. The reality? Modern wheat is a different species than what your grandparents ate. It has been hybridized to contain massive amounts of amylopectin A, a superstarch that is converted into glucose faster than almost any other food. 2 slices of whole wheat bread can raise your blood sugar more than 2 tablespoons of pure sugar. For a senior, this is the insulin trap. High insulin levels do something very specific to your arteries. They cause the kidneys to retain sodium, and they stimulate the growth of smooth muscle cells within the artery walls. This makes your arteries thicker, stiffer, and less able to dilate. This is why your blood pressure creeps up year after year, even though you watch your salt. It isn't the salt, it is the healthy bread triggering an insulin response that is hardening your pipes. A stiff artery is a brittle artery, and a brittle artery is 10 times more likely to have a plaque rupture than a flexible one. The food industry knows this. They are not stupid, they are profitable. They know that if they put low fat or heart healthy on a label, you will ignore the ingredient list. And even if you do look at the list, they have developed a code language to hide the heart rotting sugar. They use over 60 different names for sugar to ensure that sugar isn't the first item on the label. You need to look for these names: maltodextrin, dextrose, barley malt, brown rice syrup, agave nectar, fruit juice concentrate, and evaporated cane juice. These are all just different masks for the same artery acid. If you see more than two of these on a healthy product, put it back. It is a biological weapon disguised as a snack. But the danger isn't just in what these foods add to your body, it is in what they take away. This is the artery scurvy mechanism that is causing sudden heart failure in seniors who think they are doing everything right. To keep your arteries strong and flexible, your body needs to produce collagen. We discussed this in the senior skin and collagen protocols, but it is even more vital for your internal organs. Your arteries are made of collagen and elastin. To build that collagen, your body needs vitamin C. However, because the glucose molecule, sugar, and the vitamin C molecule are structurally almost identical, they use the same doorway to enter your cells. This is called the glucose ascorbate antagonism. If your blood sugar is high because you ate healthy yogurt or whole grain toast, the sugar crowds out the vitamin C. Your cells take in the sugar and leave the vitamin C floating in the blood. This means your artery repair crew has no building materials. Over time, your arteries become scorbutic, thin, fragile, and prone to micro tears. This is why you can have normal cholesterol levels on your blood test and still have a massive heart attack. Your cholesterol wasn't the problem. The structural integrity of your artery was compromised because the healthy sugar was blocking your vitamin C. Let's look at the hidden inflammatory trigger, the plaque stability factor. Doctors often talk about LDL as the bad cholesterol. This is a massive oversimplification that is costing lives. There are actually two types of LDL. Type A is large and buoyant. Think of these like big, fluffy beach balls. They bounce off your artery walls and do zero damage. They are actually protective and necessary for brain health. Type B is small and dense. Think of these like jagged little BB pellets. Because they are so small, they can get under the endothelium and get stuck. Once they are stuck, they become oxidized and turn into the sludge that doctors fear. What determines if your LDL is the beach ball or the BB pellet? It isn't saturated fat. It is the healthy foods we are discussing today. High fructose corn syrup, fruit juice, and refined grains are the primary drivers of small, dense LDL. If you eat a diet high in these healthy carbs, you are filling your blood with BB pellets. If you eat a diet high in healthy fats like eggs and grass-fed butter and low in these sugars, your LDL stays in the beach ball form. This is why the cholesterol lie is so dangerous. Your doctor sees a high LDL number and puts you on a statin, but they never check the size of the particles. You could have a high number of protective beach balls and be perfectly safe, or you could have a normal number of deadly BB pellets and be a walking time bomb. By following the healthy, low-fat diet, you are inadvertently shifting your cholesterol profile into the small and dense category. You are making your blood more sticky and your plaque more vulnerable. This leads us to the most terrifying part of this 10x faster rot, the plaque rupture. Most heart attacks do not happen in arteries that are 99% blocked. They happen in arteries that are only 30% or 40% blocked. Why? Because the 99% blockage is old, hard, and stable. The 40% blockage is new, soft, and inflamed. When you eat these healthy foods, you are keeping that 40% plaque hot. You are keeping it filled with liquid-like fats and inflammatory cells. When your blood sugar spikes from your heart-healthy cereal, it causes a surge in superoxide, a free radical that can literally pop that plaque like a zit. When that plaque pops, your body sees it as a massive internal bleed. It sends a clotting factor to the site instantly. This clot is what blocks the artery in seconds. This is how a healthy 65-year-old who just passed their stress test can drop dead of a heart attack 2 hours later. The stress test checks for pipes, but it doesn't check for explosive plaque. The healthy food industry is selling you the fuse and the matches and telling you that as long as your cholesterol is low, you are safe. Now that you understand the betrayal, the question is, how do you stop the rot? How do you take an artery that has been caramelized by 40 years of healthy sugar and turn it back into a flexible, resilient vessel? This is what I call the artery repair protocol. It is not about taking more pills. It is about changing the biological signaling in your blood so your body can do what it was designed to do, heal itself. Step 1. The glycation detox. The very first thing you must do is stop the sandpaper effect. You need to lower your baseline insulin so your endothelium can start producing nitric oxide again. This means for the next 14 days, you must eliminate the big three health frauds: fruit juices, oat milks, and whole grain processed breads. Replace your morning healthy cereal with what I call the cardiac shield breakfast. This consists of 2 or 3 whole, pasture-raised eggs cooked in grass-fed butter or extra virgin olive oil. Why eggs? For years, they were the forbidden food because of their cholesterol content. But as we discussed, dietary cholesterol does not drive heart disease. Eggs are the world's most perfect source of choline. Choline is a precursor to acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that controls your heart rate and helps your liver process fats. More importantly, eggs contain lutein and zeaxanthin, powerful antioxidants that don't just protect your eyes. They protect your LDL beach balls from being oxidized into deadly BB pellets. When you start your day with protein and healthy fats instead of healthy grains, your insulin stays low, your fat-burning switch stays on, and your arteries get a 12-hour break from glycation. Step 2. The nitric oxide resurrection. If you are over 60, your nitric oxide factory is already running at half capacity. You need to provide the raw materials to reopen those closed gates in your circulatory system. This is where the beetroot and leafy green protocol comes in. As I detail in my work on leg strength and mobility, dietary nitrates found in beets and arugula are converted by the bacteria in your mouth into nitric oxide. This molecule is the master dilator. It tells your stiff, brittle arteries to relax and widen. When your arteries widen, the pressure on your plaque decreases. It is like taking a high-pressure fire hose and turning it into a calm, flowing river. This stability is what prevents that sudden heart attack rupture. I want you to include 1 small serving of cooked beets or a large handful of arugula in your midday meal. But remember the mouthwash rule from our daily workflow. Do not use antibacterial mouthwash. It kills the very bacteria needed to activate this heart-saving nitric oxide. Step 3. The plaque shield, the vitamin K2 secret. The most dangerous thing in your arteries isn't fat, it is calcium. When plaque becomes calcified, it becomes hard and brittle, like an old eggshell. If you have been told you have a high calcium score, you are at risk. The food industry sold you on calcium-fortified juices and milks, but they never told you how to direct that calcium. Without a specific nutrient called vitamin K2, that calcium doesn't go to your bones. It gets trapped in your artery walls. Vitamin K2 activates a protein called matrix GLA protein, MGP, which literally scours calcium out of your soft tissues and moves it back into your skeletal system. Where do you find this artery cleaner? It is found in the very forbidden fats they told you to avoid: grass-fed butter, hard cheeses, and egg yolks. By eating these traditional fats, you are providing the shuttle that keeps your arteries soft and your bones strong. This is the reverse calcification mechanism that modern medicine rarely discusses. Step 4. Protecting the collagen highway. Finally, we must address the MMP1 enzyme. As we age, especially after 60, our bodies produce more of this enzyme, which acts like a scissor, cutting through the collagen that holds your artery walls and plaque caps together. To inhibit this enzyme and protect your collagen highway, you must use pomegranate and vitamin C. Pomegranate contains unique polyphenols that have been shown in clinical studies to reduce the thickness of the carotid artery wall and improve blood flow by shielding collagen from degradation. Pair this with 500 milliliters of a high-quality vitamin C taken with your morning eggs. This ensures that the sugar versus vitamin C battle we discussed earlier is won by the repair crew. You are giving your arteries the steel framework they need to resist the pressure of daily life. The forbidden fat reveal. Now, I promise to reveal the one fat that acts as a shield for your heart muscle. It is stearic acid. Stearic acid is a long-chain saturated fat found in grass-fed beef tallow and high-quality dark chocolate, 85% or higher. While the health food industry told you to eat heart-healthy soybean oil, research now shows that stearic acid actually signals your mitochondria, the energy factories in your heart, to fuse and become more efficient. Your heart is the most mitochondria-dense organ in your body. It never sleeps. It needs high-octane fuel. Stearic acid provides that fuel while stabilizing your cell membranes against oxidative stress. A small square of 90% dark chocolate or a small serving of grass-fed beef isn't a cheat meal. It is a biological requirement for a senior heart. Your 7-day challenge. I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to prove it to your own body. For the next 7 days, I want you to make 3 simple swaps. Swap the healthy juice milk for plain water with a pinch of sea salt and lemon. Swap the whole grain toast for 2 pasture-raised eggs. Swap the low-fat yogurt for a handful of walnuts and a few berries. By day 3, the brain fog caused by the insulin spikes will lift. By day 5, the heaviness in your legs will begin to dissipate as your microcirculation reopens. And by day 7, you will feel a level of calm energy that you haven't felt since your 40s. This is not a diet. This is the Dr. Robert Lee restoration system. You are not aging out of health. You are simply using the wrong manual. The healthy foods that are rotting your arteries 10 times faster than cholesterol are an obstacle, not a solution. If you found this information eye-opening, it is your responsibility to share it with one person you care about. We are losing too many seniors to sudden events that were entirely preventable with the right metabolic signaling. Subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon, because in my next video, I am going to reveal the 10-second leg test that can predict a heart event up to 2 years before it happens. Your journey to a resilient, age-proof heart starts with the very next thing you put in your mouth. Choose the repair crew, not the healthy rot. I am Dr. Robert Lee. Stay strong, stay flexible, and I will see you in the next video.